all of these men and women are doing to keep our community safe here along the border. You have a friend in me, and I will be there to help in any way I can. I hope this legislation, we can get good, strong support through the entire Texas delegation and then beyond, so the federal government can step up and meet its responsibilities here along the border. I'd be glad to answer a few questions, and if you have any hard questions, I'll give them to the chief.
Who was present today?
Pardon me?
What organizations were present? Because I see a couple different badges and a couple that I don't.
Well, maybe, can we just kind of go down the line, maybe starting with this gentleman? It's a Texas Ranger.
My name is Aaron Grigsby. I'm a captain with the Texas Rangers.
Peter Pacias, Assistant Chief of Paso Police Department.
Don Ray, Texas Border Sheriff's Coalition.
Skylar Hearn, Commander of Texas Department of Public Safety. Oscar Creel, Sheriff, Culberson County.
Luis Vega, Chief of Police for Cornyn Independent School District.
Joe Ramirez, Chief of Police of Paso Community College.
Mike McConnell, Police Chief, Horizon City. Carlos Enriquez, Lieutenant, Anthony Police Department.
Cliff Walsh, the University of Texas at El Paso Police Department.
Victor Araiza, Chief of Police, El Paso Independent School District Police Department.
Jerome Johnson, Assistant Chief, El Paso Police Department.
And as I mentioned, we were over at EPIC earlier and had about an hour and a half meeting with federal law enforcement authorities who were gathered there.
The sheriff's not here? The sheriff's department?
He's represented by Chief Deputy Sylvia Aguilar.
His deputy is here.
Okay.
Any other questions?
In light of the legislation in Arizona going on, the controversial Senate bill in Arizona, what is your take on that approach towards immigration in Arizona?
Well, you know, to me it demonstrates the failure of the federal government to deal with the issue of border security and immigration law enforcement in the first place. I worry that if people can be stopped because they fit a particular profile, and they may in fact be American citizens, that demonstrates that we failed to meet the first responsibility, which is to protect our borders, to make sure we know who's coming in and out of our country, and that they can legally be in the United States. So I think, again, it demonstrates that the federal government hasn't lived up to its responsibilities, so the state government is trying to figure some way to deal with what is otherwise a broken system.
So do you support the spirit of their approach, and if so, do you support the similar approach?
I think there is a much better way to do it, and that's why I support comprehensive immigration reform and the kind of border security measures we need here in the United States. So local and state governments don't have to try to figure some way to deal with the problem because of the results of the federal government's failure.
Do you think that bill goes against the civil rights in Arizona?
Well, you know, I'm not from Arizona, so I'm not completely familiar with the details of it. I think it's a better way to deal with it than have to try to stop people perhaps who are maybe American citizens and ask them to identify themselves just in the community at large. But that's a choice being made by the people of Arizona, their officials, and they're responsible to their voters there. Again, my responsibility is to the people of Texas and to make sure that the federal government lives up to its responsibilities. I think we have a better way of doing things here in Texas, and I would like to see the federal government fill that void.
Senator, you mentioned your support for comprehensive immigration reform. Could you elaborate on the specifics part of comprehensive immigration reform you do support?
Well, in 2005, I introduced a bill together with Senator John Kyle of Arizona called the Comprehensive Border Security and Immigration Reform Act of 2005. It contains what I think are the essential components of immigration reform, which is border security. It's work site enforcement, along with a way that the federal government provides employers a way to identify who can legally work in the United States and who cannot. But it also would include a guest worker program so that people on a temporary basis could come to the United States and work legally and then return home with the savings and the skills that they've acquired here in the United States. My conversations with my counterparts in Mexico tell me that, you know, the Mexican government really doesn't want people to leave permanently. They'd like for people to come and learn skills, get savings, come back and invest that, and to help develop the economy of Mexico. And then it also includes a path for people to who are here without a visa. And it's not just a matter of people who come across the border, it's people who come across with a visa, which visa expires. About 40% of illegal immigration in the United States is people who have not come across the border illegally, but people who've come legally and had their visa expire. I think those are the essential components of it. As you know, the details are challenging, but I'm committed to working on it.
One more question?
So there have been some concerns about a spillover of violence here on the El Paso, Texas side. There have been a handful of incidents that can be related directly to the cartels and the ongoing drug war. What is your best solution right now to try to combat this and quell it?
Well, as you know, the demand for illegal drugs in the United States helps finance these operations and helps is complicit, frankly, in the violence that we see among the cartels fighting for turf and fighting for market share. And so what we've got to do is use every tool available to us, whether it's cut off the cash, which is one leg of that stool. We need to try to deal with the prevention of illegal drug use in this country. But I think we also need to make sure that we are helping our counterparts in Mexico do everything they can to win the war with the cartels. We know it's very complicated, but there's too much at stake for us not to use every resource available to us. I would just say we are very lucky to have someone like President Calderon, who is absolutely committed to defeating the cartels. I worry that it won't always be the case, and so the clock is ticking. But I will tell you that I'm enormously impressed with what I've seen here in El Paso at the local level and the state level, as well as the briefing I received at the El Paso Intelligence Center, the federal effort from the United States military all the way to ATF, DEA, FBI, and the like, working on this problem. Most importantly, I've come back, I think I'll go back to Washington with some very specific ideas about ways we can enhance what we're doing here to be much more effective in helping the Mexican government defeat the cartels and helping make sure that that our local law enforcement here in the United States gets the support they need in order to keep our communities safe. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.